So Eminus, you get access to 3 different channels that are all run by professional traders, right? Now, some of these guys have been trading for like almost 20 years. So the experience and the knowledge that you can get from them is incredible. Now, me personally, I know how to trade. I could sit on a chart and I could probably find a setup, but it would take me a while. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. So I prefer to leverage experts, people who've been doing this a lot longer than me, so that I can just copy from them. Do I still add my own understanding? Yes, but the majority of the work is done for us through these Eminus signals. So what we're going to go through today is a few different things. Number one, of course, is where can you access the Eminus signals, right? Super, super important that you get yourself into the right Telegram groups in order to get those. Number two, how to actually take a signal effectively. Now, the key word there is effectively, because to take a signal is actually really easy. You just copy and paste, right? But knowing when to leave a trade alone, right? For example, if you've come to a signal too late, right? Knowing when it's still valid to enter that signal is really, really important, because signals can be very inconsistent if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to go through not just how to actually take the signal, but how to make sure the signal is still valid so that when you are taking it, you're giving yourself the best possible chance of winning that trade. Okay, and we're going to be going really, really in depth on MetaTrader 4 tonight. I know we have a lot of new people joining us in the last, week, 2 weeks, month. So we're going to go really, really in depth of how to use MetaTrader 4 effectively. Okay, some of you might be brand new, not even taking your first trade yet. So we're going to make sure we really go into detail on that tonight on tonight's call. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and actually show you what you should be doing as soon as you get started. So I'm going to, not most people use MetaTrader 5. I'm going to definitely disagree with that. A lot of people use MetaTrader 4, but the platforms aren't all that different. So you can just apply the same things that I say, but to MetaTrader 5, right? They're not that vastly different. So let's come over to the very first place that you should start when you first join Economy. Now, you should have access to this website, or should have had this website shared with you. If you're new, you may not have got it yet, so I'm just going to drop it in the chat box. Okay, but this is the mastermind website. Okay, now this website is a wealth of knowledge that you're getting extra, right, or on top of the Economy platform. Okay, so if you're brand new, this is the first thing you want to do is make sure you're registered to this website. Okay, so when you come on here, you go to members access. And then obviously, if you're new, you'll need to register first. So just on the left-hand side, click register here. Obviously, this is free. You've joined up to Economy. This comes with it as being part of Team Mastermind. So what you do is you just use your Economy login details to register. Okay, very, very simple. Use your Economy login details to register. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and log straight in because, of course, I've already registered to the website. Okay, so you would go ahead and log in. Now, if you have never traded before, okay, if you are brand new, this is your first time seeing Forex or, anything to do with Forex, the very first place you want to start, okay, first of all, watch the welcome message from Bells so you can get to know our leader. But you want to come to Team Portal and go to 4 customers. So these are for the people who've never traded before, okay? You don't have a Scooby, you're brand new. So come over to 4 customers, because what this 4 customer section does is does the basics. Okay, so first of all, how to use the back office. Okay, now actually a lot of you might want to watch that, right? How to use the back office of Economy, how to navigate. But it also shows you where you can find the basic Forex course. Now this is going to teach you, how the market moves, how we measure the market, right, in something called pips. It's going to go through MetaTrader 4. It's going to go through everything you need to know before you actually take your first trade. Okay, so super, super important you go through this. Now, when you go on it, it looks like a lot of videos, but they're only like 2-3 minutes each, right? So it's not that daunting and it's pretty quick and easy for you to get through, but it gives you the foundation before you go into the markets, right? Super, super important. Okay, it goes through how to set up your broker. So if you've not done that yet, this gives an advantage as an example, but it works for any other regulated broker. All of their systems are very, very similar. How to use MetaTrader 4. Okay, choosing your lane. Now, this is going to be important for those of you who just joined and maybe you're not quite sure yet, what you want to get out of economy. This would be a good place for you to start as well. It goes through how to take a trading plan, risk management, which we're also going to go through on tonight's call, but it's definitely worth repeating, right? How to get your scholarship. So if you're somebody who wants to get a free subscription, you'll come in here and have a watch of that. And then market execution versus pending orders, which I'm also going to go through on tonight's call. Okay, so once you've gone through those, and again, if you just look at like the timing of these videos, I mean, it's not going to take you that long to get through those. And then you're going to come over to, you've got 2 portals here. You've got, oops, I didn't even mean to click that. Is somebody adding arrows to my screen? Or is that just me? I don't know if that was me or not. I don't think so. But if you're adding arrows to my screen, I'll boot you. Okay. So you come to Team Portal and you're going to go to Eminus first, because of course that's the call that we're on. Okay. And it's also the shortest to get through. I created this. It's only 4 videos because there's not that much to Eminus, right? Taking signals is not hard. Okay. So I go through, what actually is Eminus. Okay, so obviously we're going to discuss that on tonight's call, the different channels you can be in, how to join, and again, the difference between a market execution and a pending order, because this is something people struggle with when it comes to taking signals. Okay, and then of course you also want to go through the Monara portal. Okay, so those are kind of our 2 main products, Eminus and Monara. Now Monara is going to take a bit longer because it requires you to set up Monara. Okay, and actually go through those steps, but definitely you want to get yourself plugged into that as well. Okay, so if you are new, that is your starting point. Now, I want to just say something that I think is super, super important, and I've been seeing it in the group chats where people join and it's their first couple days or maybe less than a week. And they're in the group chat talking about, oh, I'm losing on Monara, I'm losing this, I'm this, that, and the other. Guys, trading takes time. You are not going to be a millionaire overnight, right? It doesn't work like that. You have to do the education. And I know you haven't done the education in the types of questions that you ask in the chat. Okay, I know you've not done the education. It's so important, right? If you want to, go to Paris and be able to speak French, you're not going to just download an app and try to practice French for 2 days and think you can master the language. It's not going to happen. If you want to learn how to play the guitar, you can't just buy, I don't know, a guitar chord book and expect to play a song in 2 days. Okay, the same goes for trading. So guys, you have to give it time and you have to be patient, right? And use a demo account when you first start. Right? I'm also seeing people in the chat saying they blew their account, which first of all, when we talk about risk management, means you were gambling and you weren't actually following the steps that we've given you. But second of all, if you don't know how to take a trade yet, why are you risking real money? It doesn't make sense. Okay, so I really, really hope, somebody in this Zoom room needed to hear that right now, because I'm seeing it too often, and it's with a lot of new people who come in who think they're just going to bam, learn how to trade and be a millionaire tomorrow. Okay, so go through this education, guys. It's so important. Okay, now what we're going to do is actually go over to the economy back office now and show you how to get into these channels, right? Next most important bit. Okay, so in your back office, guys, I also don't know how, maybe if there's a leader on here who knows how to use Zoom, somebody's drawn on my screen and I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't know how to get rid of it. Can you guys see it? I'm a little OCD, so it's actually really bothering me, but if you guys can't see it, then it's cool. So you come over to your home screen, okay? And the very first thing you need to actually do is to register your Telegram details, okay? So that obviously Economy knows you're a paying member of the company. You have to register your Telegram details. So you can find that, right, in your back office. Okay, it literally just says Telegram details, and it walks you through what you need to do. So number one, you're going to go to Telegram. Okay, I can, oh, thanks, Tama. Hold on. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's just, it bugs me. It bugs me. Okay, cool. So where it says Telegram details, right? You go over to Telegram, and at the top of Telegram, there's going to be a search bar, and you just type in user info bot. Okay, and then click on it as if you are starting a conversation. Okay, then once you've started that conversation, at the very bottom, there's going to be a button that says start. Okay, you literally just click start. Now, if you have an older version of Telegram, it might not say that, and you actually have to physically type in /start. Okay, but either way, you can do either of those things, and it's going to then pop up with your basic information. Okay, your username, and of course your user ID. So your user ID, you need to copy and paste into here and then click save. Now, mine is of course already there because I've already put it in and I've already clicked save. So don't copy mine because that's not going to link to your account. I've already got mine saved. Okay, you need to go and you need to do this step. I would suggest doing this part on your phone, because what I'm going to show you now as well, how to get into the Eminus Telegram groups, you're probably going to want to have those on your phone as well. Okay, so you might want to take a second, get your phone out, log into your Economy back office so you can then directly join these links if you haven't done so already. Okay, so Telegram details are saved. Now you're going to come over to the left-hand side and you're going to go to Forex. Okay, and you're going to go, whoopsies, and you're going to go to Eminus. Okay, Forex and then Eminus. So there are 3 different Eminus channels that you can join. Okay, I'm going to talk about all of them so you understand the differences between them. Okay, but also which ones you should be in if you're a beginner to start. Okay, so every person on this call, especially if you're a beginner, should be in the Eminus English chat. Okay, it is the easiest, most duplicatable chat to be in, meaning it literally just sends you signals that you copy and paste. Okay, super, super simple. We're going to go through that on tonight's call. Okay, so Eminus English, obviously, if you're doing this on your phone, you'll click Telegram link and it's automatically going to direct you to Telegram. Okay, now, if it comes up and says something like this link has expired, okay, that sometimes happens if maybe your package has run out and you renewed it late, for example. So they maybe had removed you from the group and you've got to rejoin. Now that's going to be for not brand new people. Okay, but sometimes it happens. So all you do is click fix the issue and it will then prompt you to join again. So you literally then just click Telegram link again and you should then be able to join. If for whatever reason this doesn't work, okay, I would say like 99% of the time it does. But if for whatever reason it doesn't work, you can contact customer support here over on the right-hand side, which is this little red chat box. Okay, so super, super easy. You click it. Okay, they're now online, so you can literally start a conversation with them and they will sort it out for you. They're super, super quick and efficient. Okay, but 99% of the time, if you click fix the issue and then join, you're good to go. Okay, next one, and we're going to go through Eminus English tonight, so I'm not going to spend too much other time in it. The next one is Eminus Arabic. Now, Eminus Arabic is, right, this person, right, I don't know how to pronounce your name. It starts with an N. Can you stop drawing on my screen? I don't know if you're doing it on purpose, but if you are, I'm going to remove you because it's a bit annoying. Okay, I don't know if you're doing it on purpose, but please stop. Right, so next one, Eminus Arabic. Now, Eminus Arabic is run by a guy named Abdullah. He is an absolute gem. Had the pleasure of meeting him in May in Dubai. He's been trading for over 17 years. Okay, so the knowledge that he has is incredible. Now, I'm also going to show you his Telegram group, but I joined Economy last August, so it's almost been a year now. And in the time I have been in his Telegram group, I'm not even like hyping things up here, but like I have not seen this man have a losing day. He's lost trades, but I've not seen him have a losing day. Like the accuracy of his trades are incredible. But if you are a beginner, okay, if you are a beginner, you will struggle. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to get on his session and you're going to think, what the hell is going on? Because he is fast. Okay, he is a scalper. He is literally in and out of the market in seconds. So if you're a beginner and you want to plug in, and I think you should, right? He is incredible. He is a great teacher. He is incredible at what he does. So in the long term, you will learn a lot from him. But as a beginner, just understand that when you go on to his sessions for the first week, you're probably not going to have a clue what's going on. It's going to take you time to learn. Okay, so again, use a demo account. Like 100% do not be risking real money on Abdullah's sessions. Okay, now number two, if you are going to go on his sessions, you want to have MT5 for a desktop or laptop. Okay, this is what he suggests, because MetaTrader 5 on a desktop, you simply click a button to open the trade, click your mouse, and click your mouse to close the trade. Now, because he's in a trade for such a short period of time, those like kind of precious seconds that if we're on a phone, we may take to close a trade manually, could be the kind of 1 second between us making a lot of profit or losing. Okay, so definitely plug into him, but just understand that when you go on his sessions, treat it as educational purposes only until you become more comfortable. Okay, now something else to note about his sessions is that he only does live sessions. He doesn't send signals. Okay, so his sessions are Monday to Friday at 2:30 p.m. UK time every day, Monday to Friday at 2:30 p.m. UK time. If you're in the US or EST, that's 9:30 a.m. If you're in Nigeria, it's 2:30 p.m., same as the UK. Okay, so in order to get onto his live sessions, you just need to join the channel, and he sends the Zoom link every day. Okay, but something else he does do on the weekend is when he teaches. Okay, so if you go onto his live session and you ask him questions like, what are you doing? He's not going to answer you, because those sessions are strictly for making money. Okay, which once you know what you're doing, you're going to appreciate that. But those sessions are strictly for making money. Now, if you want to learn his strategy, you then have to plug in on the weekends. He does Zoom calls on the weekend, and he also sends his Zoom recordings and his weekly overview every single Sunday. So if you learn how to use his weekly overview, you'll have trade ideas for the entire week, because he goes through exactly what he expects to see in the market that week. Okay, so that's Eminus Arabic. Now, Eminus Spanish, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on, because I don't personally use this channel, because between Eminus English and between Manara and the Manara bot, I get more than enough trade ideas. Okay, but Eminus Spanish is there, right? If you want to get into that channel as well. It's very similar to Eminus English, where you can just copy and paste. Okay, the only difference I noticed with Eminus Spanish is they're shorter term trades, right? So the TP1 is usually only like maybe 10, 20 pips. Okay, so they're very kind of quick trades where you can be in and out. Okay, but personally for me, like risk to reward, I like to see like a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 risk to reward. And with their TP1s, I don't always see that. So that's the only reason I personally am not in that channel. Okay, but if you do join it, you will get trade ideas. It's consistent, right? So he uses actually Manara along with his own analysis to send trade ideas. Okay, so just so you guys know. Okay, so those are the 3 different channels that you can get into. So let's actually get straight into Eminus English, right? And looking at a signal. Now, before we do that, I'm just going to actually share my whiteboard for a second. And I'm just going to go through some key terminology that you need to understand before you actually go to take a trade. Okay, so let's just get rid of this. And let's come over here. Okay, so there are basically 3 different types of trades that you will take. Okay, number 1, and this is the point, if you know, you didn't need to take notes really on that part, but if you're new, I would definitely be taking notes on this part. Okay, so if a signal comes and it tells you to buy now or sell now, okay, that means the type of trade you are taking is called a market execution. Okay, you are doing a market execution. Now, if you're on an Android phone, which, you know, I won't bash Androids, but, you know, upgrade, get an iPhone. But if you're on an Android, it's called an instant execution. Okay, just so you know, they're the exact same things, but the actual term for it is market execution. Okay, and what that means is you're going immediately into the market, immediately into the trade, as close to the price that they have called out as possible. Now, this is where it's really important that you understand how to read a chart, because if you see a signal maybe an hour after it was sent, right, and it says buy now, and you just immediately jump into that trade, well, that trade might already be, 20 pips in profit, right? So you don't want to be getting into a trade when you're getting in that late, right? So it's important for you to understand how to actually read the chart on MetaTrader 4 to check if this trade is still valid. Oh my goodness, I don't think you guys can hear my cat, but anyways, so that's the first type that you will get. The second type is the signal might tell you that you need to do a buy limit or a sell limit. Now, what this means is that you are setting up a pending order, okay? Meaning the trade isn't at the price that the educator wants it to be yet. So we're going to set up a pending order so that way we can go about our day, right? That trade might hit an hour from then, 2 hours from then, 6 hours from then. But once you have that pending order set up, when it hits that price, it will automatically put you into that trade. Okay, so you don't have to, sit in front of a chart and wait for it to get to that price. Okay, and lastly, now this one you're not going to see as often unless you join the Eminus Spanish, because he actually does use these. But Eminus English, you're never going to see this. Okay, but just so you're aware, okay, you may also see a buy stop or a sell stop. Now, this is just a different type of pending order. Okay, those are the only 3 instructions that you will receive, either to buy now, to do a buy limit, do a buy stop, or to sell now, do a sell limit or a sell stop. Once you understand those are the only types of trades you can take. Okay, so once you understand those, you are good to go. Okay, but let me explain the difference, because I get asked all the time, especially when it comes to Monara, right? Should I do a buy limit? Should I do a buy stop? Again, another tip with Monara, you're probably never going to use stop orders. If somebody on this call does that, maybe tell me how, but I personally only ever use limit orders when it comes to Monara. Okay, so the difference between a buy limit and a buy stop is very simple. Okay, I'm going to do this in, let's do this in, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Let's do this in, oh man, sorry guys, I have a cold, so if you hear me stuffing all the time, I apologize. And let me make sure everyone is muted. Mute. Why is that not muting? There we go. Okay, cool. So a buy limit. So let's say, for example, this is the entry price, right? Whatever this price is, whatever pair it is, okay, this is where the educator wants us to enter the market for a buy. Okay, now just to be clear as well, a buy, oh my gosh, my cat's going bonkers. A buy, who did that? Guys, I'm getting actually really aggy right now. Tama, if you see who just erased my board, can you please do me a favor and just remove them? It's starting to bug me now. Okay, cool. So when I say buy, okay, again, for those of you who are brand new, it means the educator is predicting the market's going to go up. Okay, a buy is up, a sell is down. Okay, so if you are brand new, buy means we're predicting the market's going to go up, sell means we're predicting the market is going to go down. Okay, now a buy limit is when price is actually still above where the educator wants us to get in, right? So price might be up here, and we basically just need to wait for it to come down to hit this area. Once it hits there, that will automatically activate our trade. Okay, and then of course what the educator wants to happen is for the price to then hit that area, which will be a support level, okay, and then bounce back up and start going this way, and of course hopefully win the trade. Now, it's not always going to happen perfect like that, okay? It might hit this area, it might push past it for a bit, okay? So we might be in a bit of drawdown before it then eventually goes up. Now, you guys need to understand, okay? you will see red. Please get used to it, because all trades don't happen perfectly. It's not just going to perfectly hit our buy limit and go straight into profit. Okay, that doesn't happen always. Okay, so get used to seeing red. So if you see a bit of red, don't panic. Okay, and once it, of course, then goes up, that's when we then get into profit and hopefully hit TP. Now, if it's a sell limit, it's just the opposite direction. Okay, so a sell limit means price is currently below. We're waiting for it to come up. Again, hit our entry, it will automatically activate and then eventually sell down. Okay, now as long as you use proper risk management, okay, and you're only risking like 1 to 2% per trade, even if this doesn't go our way and it hits our stop loss, you're only going to lose 1 to 2% of your account. So if you use proper risk management, there should never be a reason to stress out when you see red. There should never be a reason. Okay, now let's look at a buy stop and a sell stop, just so you understand the difference. Let me just use a different color here. Okay, so again, let's pretend this is our entry. Okay, this is our entry here where they want us to enter the market. So with a buy stop, price will be below entry. Okay, so it's already, basically it's already buying upwards, right? It's already going up. Basically, they want it to hit our entry. It will activate our trade and then just boom, go straight through. That's the hope. Okay. Oh, my days. Mute. Oh, let's just do that. There we go. Okay. And then same with the sell stop. Okay, sell stop is if it's above, so it's already selling down. Okay, gonna hit our entry and then hopefully blow straight through. Okay, so that's the only difference between a buy limit and a buy stop, between a sell limit and a sell stop. Now, like I said, you're not really, if you're using Eminus and you're using Monara, you're probably rarely going to use buy stops or sell stops. Okay, the only time I know it gets used quite often is if you have Plutos as an add-on. Nigel, who does NOS 100 indices, again, phenomenal. You know, once you get a bit more experience, you should definitely consider getting Plutos as an add-on because his results are incredible. But he uses stop orders. Okay, just so you're aware. So far, right? I'm gonna quiz people now. I'm a teacher by career, so I'm gonna quiz people, and I'm gonna close this so that you guys can't cheat. So in the chat box, I want someone to tell me, maybe someone who took notes and paid attention, somebody tell me what would I do if my educator told me to buy now? What type of trade would I want to take? If my educator told me to buy now, what do I want to do? Good. Hashim, market execution or instant execution if you are on an Android. Perfect. Excellent. Now, what direction is the market going if I'm setting up a buy limit? So before it hits my entry, what direction is the market going? That's a tough one. That's actually kind of a trick question. I'm seeing mixed answers. It's actually going down. Remember, it has to come down to hit our entry, and then eventually we want it to go upwards. Sorry, I phrased that kind of awkward. That was a bit of a tricky one. Okay, perfect. Now, somebody tell me, what is a pending order? Why do we use a pending order? That one might require you to type a bit more, but what is a pending order, and why do we use it? Okay, so the trade's not ready yet. Yeah, we're kind of going to buy or sell at a later time because the price hasn't gotten to that yet. Good, entry's not ready. Perfect. Okay, guys, I think we're good to go. So let's move over now to actually looking at Eminus and actually taking a trade, okay? Because I think there actually is one on Eminus that hasn't hit yet. So we're going to look at how that, excuse me, how we tell if a trade is still valid, okay? Because that's super important. I'm going to have to share my phone screen here in a second. Just give me a minute here. Oopsies. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to share my phone screen. And then we are going to take a look. Okay. So you guys are going to be able to see that in just a second. There we go. And I'm just going to actually mute my notifications because I get a lot of messages. So we're just going to make sure that doesn't, there we go. Okay, cool. So let's go over to Telegram. Okay, so this is what Eminus English looks like. At the top, it's called Eminus Trade Ideas. Okay, so that's, if you see Eminus Trade Ideas with the little Eminus logo, then you know you're in the Eminus English group. Okay, so let's look at these trades, because let's look at Euro USD. Okay, because it's the most recent one. Now it was sent out at 12:15 today, but we'll just check if it's still valid, because one thing to know about Eminus English is that when he sends a pending order, okay, so if it's a sell limit or a buy limit, for example, he's usually looking at a longer time frame. So sometimes it might take, you know, half a day or a day for that trade to hit. So if I actually just look at Euro USD, okay, if I zoom in, you can see there Euro US dollar in the top, 4 hour. That means he's looking at a 4-hour time frame. Okay, when we see those higher time frames, we can expect for the trade to take, you know, some time to actually enter, and we might be in that trade for some time. Okay, so Eminus English, he's more of an intraday trader. Okay, sometimes even swing trader. Sometimes I've seen him put the daily chart. So these are going to be longer term trades. Okay, so you need to anticipate being in these trades for some time, which is good. It teaches you patience. Okay, so let's go. So what we need to understand from this is, number one, the pair that we're going to take. So obviously we can clearly see we're going to take Euro USD. Okay, we know the type of trade is a sell limit. Okay, so we're going to set ourselves up a pending order, and we've got the price, okay, that we're going to enter the trade. We then, of course, have our stop loss, and we have our take profit. Okay, that's all we need to know. So what we would do is we would then go to our MetaTrader 4. Now, I actually set up a new MetaTrader 4 just for tonight's call, so I can show you guys how to log in to your MetaTrader 4 if you've never logged in to MetaTrader 4 before. Okay, so whatever broker you're with, you're going to get an email that looks like this. Okay, with your MetaTrader 4 login details. Okay, so you can see the login, you can see the password, and you can see the server. Okay, so what you would do is you would come over to MetaTrader 4. Oops, and you would come to the settings page. Okay, so you would then click where it says new account. Okay, so click where it says new account. Again, on an Android, this is going to look slightly different, but it's the same instructions. So you just need to find what it says on an Android. I think the Android, it doesn't actually physically say new account. There's like a plus button. Okay, but it's going to bring you to this page, and you're going to click in log into an existing account. Okay, then at the top is where you're going to type in the server. Okay, where you're going to type in the server. So mine was Vantage International, whoopsies, typing too fast, demo 2. So you can see it's come up second. So I would just click it. Now I would come back over to my email. I would copy the login, come back over, paste. Then I do the same thing for the password. Whoops. There we go. Perfect. And then I would click paste and sign in. Okay, super, super easy. Now, it's going to give you some kind of pre-selected pairs. Okay, so you can see this one, there's only about 10 pairs there. Okay, and I don't see Euro USD, which is the trade we're going to take. So what you do, if you don't see the pair that the educator has given you, you just click the top right-hand corner where the plus button is, just like that. And then you just type in Euro. We're going to do Euro USD, and you can see it pop up. So then you're just going to click the green plus button to the left. Okay. Now, one other question I get a lot, if you're using a demo account and you come onto this quote page and the numbers are grayed out, or sorry, the pair. So where it says AUD CAD, if that's gray, then you just need to come up and search AUD CAD, right? And it's probably going to have AUD CAD and a plus button. I don't know why demo accounts do that. That's just how it is. Okay, so let's go to Euro USD. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the chart, right? We're seeing this trade 8 hours after it was sent. So we want to see if the trade is still valid. Okay, so I would click chart. Excuse me. Oh, man. Right, now over on the right-hand side is where you can see where price currently is. So where that little blue flag is and red flag is, that's where price currently is. So it's currently at 1.09027. Okay. Now, does anyone know, maybe those of you who have watched some of the ECA already, does anyone know why there's a blue flag and then a red flag with a slightly different price? Does anyone know what that's called? That's also important for you guys to know. Missy said yes. Well, what's it called then? What's it called? Give you a hint. It starts with an S. Good. The spread. Perfect. Yes, Missy, the pips that your broker take. Yeah, that's the spread. Okay, so again, when you first take a trade, you're probably immediately going to go into the red. Okay, the reason being is that the broker takes that little bit in between as their cut. So any trade that you take, your broker is going to take a teeny little crumb of that trade. Okay, so that is called the spread. So what you're going to do, okay, we've got our price is at 1.09027. So I would come back over to Eminus, okay, and I would look at the sell limit. So the sell limit is 1.09734. Okay, 1.09734, which is like up here. Okay, so this trade is actually still valid. Okay, this trade is still valid. Okay, so once I see it's still valid, right? Because basically, remember, the educator, if it's a sell limit, they're wanting this to come up, touch this area, and then start to sell down. Okay, so this trade is still valid. So if you are on a demo account, get out your phone right now. We're going to take this trade together. Okay, so what I would do, I now see it's still valid. I'm just going to click trade in the top right-hand corner. Now, this trade, though, is not a market. This trade is not a market execution. Okay, so what I would need to do is I would need to click where it says market execution, and I would just go down to sell limit, right? Remember I told you there's only these 5 different types of trades. That's it. So I'll come down to sell limit, okay? And then I would need to copy and paste the price. So if I just come over to my Eminus here, the price was where we want to do, where we want to enter the trade. It says sell limit at 1.09734. So I would just come over here, 1.09734. Okay, then I do the same thing. I just repeat that 3 times. Come over to the stop loss. My stop loss is 10,186. So I would just come here and I would put 10,186. And then my take profit, okay, is 09134. 09134. That's it. Okay, and then I just click place. Okay, so now we have entered that trade. Okay, so what needs to happen is price needs to come up to our sell limit. When it does that, it's going to automatically put us into the trade. Okay, and then of course what we're hoping for is that it's then, whoopsies, it's then going to sell down to our TP. Okay, very, very simple. Now, one thing I also want to talk about here is actually risk management. I should have done that actually before I took the trade. Okay, but let's quickly talk about risk management. So if I click trade again, okay, I'm just going to do this as an example. Okay, in the middle, you can see mine said 0.25. Okay, that's because the demo account I set up has 2,500 in it. Okay, so that's going to be approximately 1 to 2% risk. Okay, now if you are new, there is a very simple way for you to use risk management at the beginning. Okay, so if you have $100 in your trading account, you should only be using a lot size of 0.01. Okay, so 0.01 is called micro lots. Or sorry, yeah, micro, macro. Actually, let me not put that because now I'm going to mix up it's micro, macro, and then standard. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Okay, so micro. And what this means is you are going to make basically 10 cents or 10p if you're here in the UK. Oh, guys, I can't type. Mini, thank you, Temmie. Thank you. I knew I got that wrong. It's mini, then, okay, thank you. You don't need to know those terms. But basically, you're going to make 10 cents or 10p, right, if you're here in the UK, per 1 pip of movement. So, for example, if this trade comes and hits take profit, which is, you can see, would be plus 60 pips, how much are you going to make from this trade? If I put in a lot size of 0.01, which is 10 pence per pip, that's a lot of p's, 10 pence per pip. How much money I'm going to make for that trade? Somebody tell me. If that trade goes 60 pips in profit, we close at TP1, how much money will I make from that trade? Who's good at maths? I'm not very good at maths. Thank you, Zoom user, $6. Amazing. Perfect. Okay, good. So you'll make $6. Now, the same is then going to go for if you use micro, mini, standard. Thank you, Temmie. Let's just get rid of that bit. We'll just get rid of that bit. Micro. So I was right. Yay, micro. I was right. Okay, cool. So if you have $200 in your trading account, you are going to use a 0.02 lot size. That is a safe 1 to 2% risk, depending how big your stop loss is. Okay, so this trade, the stop loss was 40 pips. So that's probably going to be more like a 2% risk. Okay, because 40 pips it's a decent sized stop loss. If it's only like a 20 pip stop loss, then it's going to be like a 1% risk. Okay, now I also get this question asked a lot is if the educator sends a signal and it has multiple TPs, so multiple take profits. Okay, so this one has a TP1 and then it says TP2 open, right? Meaning as the trade goes on, the educator is going to update us when to close the trade or what that TP2 is going to be. Okay, so if that is the case, you can take 2 entries, meaning you're going to take that trade twice. But what you need to do is split your risk. Okay, so if you have $200 in your account, you're not going to take 2 trades at 0.02 because basically you've just doubled your risk. So you're potentially risking 2 to 4% of your account. So what you can do is you can take 2 trades. It's going to have the exact same stop loss. It's going to have the exact same entry. The only thing that's going to change is the take profit. Okay, so you could take 2 trades at 0.01. Then you're still safely taking that trade within good risk management. Okay, now somebody tell me if I have $300 in my account, what lot size should I be using for a 1 to 2% risk? What lot size should I be using? 0.03. Easy peasy. 0.03. Okay, so on and so forth. If I had $400, 0.04. If I had $600, 0.06. You guys catch my drift. Okay, now if you get up to $1,000, you can then start taping 0.10. Okay, which, as Temmie told me here, is a mini. Now, what this means is that you are making, oh gosh, my nose is, hold on a minute. Now here's where my math is going to be bad. It's $1, isn't it? $1. Okay, so if I take this exact same trade, Euro USD, with a 0.10 lot size and it goes 60 pips into profit, how much money am I going to make from this trade? It's the exact same trade idea, just different lot sizes. Yeah, Priyana, good. $60. So that exact same trade, I would make $60. Okay, this is why if you don't have a lot of money to start with, you want to compound, right? You want to compound. You don't want to withdraw from your trading account. You want to compound, because obviously the more money you have in your account, the bigger lot sizes you can use safely. Okay, safely being the key word. If you have $100 in your account and you're using a 0.10 lot size, yes, you're going to win $60 on that trade. But the next trade, if you keep up that risk, you're probably going to blow your account. Okay, so this is why risk management is super important. Okay, Daniel, thank you for answering that question. You're absolutely correct. So if you have less than $100, you should still be using 0.01. Okay, and I would say if you have less than $100 and you're using 0.01, you don't want to then open multiple trades. Okay, I would say you shouldn't be in more than kind of 2 trades at a time. Okay, if you're going to be safe with your risk management. Okay, so again, $2,000, 0.02. Somebody tell me if I have $5,000, let's switch it up here. If I have $5,000 in my account, what lot size am I going to be using? 0.50, perfect. Okay, easy stuff, easy stuff. Now, this is the bit that is easy, but takes discipline. It is easy, but it takes discipline, okay? Because you're gonna win a couple trades. You might be in Eminus English and think, oh, this guy has won like every trade this week. So you get a trade idea and think, okay, he's won every trade this week. I'm gonna whack on a massive lot size so I can make more money. I guarantee you that's gonna be the time he loses a trade and you blow your account. Okay, so please, it's easy to do. Every single one of you could answer these questions, but be disciplined and do it. Okay, have a trading plan and stick to it. Okay, know your lot size and stick to it, right? Now, if I have $100 in my account, the only time I'm going to increase my lot size is when I get up to 200, and I can then safely risk 0.02. Okay, then when I get up to 300, I can move that up to 0.03. That should be the only time that you change your lot size. Okay, don't change your lot size because you think an educator's on a roll, so you're just going to risk it all and whack on a big lot size. Don't do that. And if you do that, don't come to the chat and cry about it. I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for you. If you over leverage and lose money, that is your fault. Okay, I have absolutely no sympathy, because I see that all the time too. Big pet peeve of mine. You come into the chat and you say, oh, I blow my account. I lost a trade on Manara and I lost my whole account. That's because you were gambling. If you had used proper risk management, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, so guys, risk management is so important. Right, now, what was I going to do? Okay, let's go back over to Administrator 4. So we get risk management, guys. Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Hopefully. Amazing, okay. So now that we've taken a trade, okay, okay, as this trade progresses, okay, you're going to get updates from the educator, especially in Eminus English, because his trades are longer, he gives you updates. Okay, so you don't want to take a trade and then just, I don't know, ignore your notifications, okay, because he'll update you, right? So for example, if I just close down here, so he took a gold trade, okay, it went 50 to 80 pips in profit, and he told you to close it. Okay, if I scroll up here, this one missed entry. Where's another one? Here, AUDJPY. Okay, he gave you an update and he told you to close half of your trade. Okay, what that means is if it says close half, okay, you're taking partial profits, meaning you want to close half of your trade so you bag money. This is why we're all here. We're all here to make money. And I'm a very, very kind of firm advocate of taking your money when the market offers you money. Okay, so if your educator tells you to close half, it means it's gone probably 30 pips or more in profit, and he wants you to secure some of that profit. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, very, very simple. Let me come up over here. Sorry, by the way, all that risk management, this is where you put your risk. Okay, so I said all that to say this. Okay, so if you have $200, 0.02. If you have $500, 0.05. If you have $1,000, 0.10, right? Everything we just went through, that's where you put it. Okay, now I'm just going to randomly take a trade. I'm going to do it with gold because it moves faster. Just so we can see like what it looks like when we're in a trade. So let me just go to trade and I'm just going to do a market execution. We're going to whack a big lot size. This is a demo count just so we can see. There we go. Now you guys can see that I automatically went into the red. That's because of the spread. Okay. Now, excuse me. Now let's pretend this is profit. Okay. This has gone into profit and the educator has told me to close half. Okay. What I do is I slide this to the left and you get these 4 options. Okay. The first one, the tick with the little circle, is if you're going to close your trade or close part of your trade. The pencil is if you need to modify your trade. Okay. So for example, if you've taken partial profits, you should then also be in a position to move your stop loss to break even. Okay. And that's how you do it. You click the pencil to modify your trade. To be honest, I've never used the plus. What does it do? Oh, okay. It takes if you want to take another trade. Sorry, I literally realized I've never clicked that button. And then the one on the far right is the chart. So it'll take you back to the chart so you can see your trade, right? So now I can see golds. Okay, I can see where I entered. Okay, so if I want to close half my trade or part of my trade, I slide to the left and I click the tick with the circle. Now, I took this trade at 0.50. So if I want to close half of my trade, what do you think I need to do? Somebody tell me, if I want to close half of my trade, what do you think I need to do? Right now, if I click close, it's going to close my whole trade. Okay, good. T-Money. I like that name. T-Money. Yes, T-Money. I would just change this. I would just half my entry, 0.25. So whatever you have in there, you just half it. Yeah, you just reduce it. Okay. Now, if you are trading with 0.01, you can't take partials, right? That's the lowest lot size, so you can't take partials. So if I were you, right, if an educator says to take partials, I would just close that trade, right? I would just bag that money and then wait for the next trade to come along. Okay, so I just half it and then I just click close. Oh, the market's closed. Okay, it's 10 o'clock for you. Those of you guys who don't know, it's called spread hour. 10 to 11 p.m. UK time, Nigeria time. The market is closed. So I can't close that right now. But that's what I would do. Okay, I would just cut my lot size in half and click close. Okay, obviously, if I wanted to close the whole trade, I would just whatever my whole risk is, and I would click close. Okay, now if I then want to move my stop loss to break even, right now, this means my trade is now going to be completely risk-free. Because if that trade then reverses, first of all, I've bagged some of my profit. But second of all, if it then reverses and goes in the other direction, it's just going to take me out where I entered the trade, meaning I don't lose any money, right? So this is the best feeling and the best position to be in when you've taken partials and your trade's now risk-free, right? You want to do that as quickly as possible. Okay, so what I do is I slide to the left and this time I click the pencil. Now, before you click the pencil, the number underneath the pair, okay, so see where it says XAU USD, and then underneath it, it says 1901.84. That's my entry. So all I do is I copy that number, 1901.84, and I would put it here. Now, I'm not going to be able to do it again because the market's closed, but also because we're in drawdown, because I just took that as an example. But that's what you would do. And then you would, if it was valid, that where it says modify would be blue, and you could just click modify. Okay. Nicole has asked, so when market closes, it doesn't close out your trades. That is correct, Nicole, because basically this hour is kind of the market's way of like resetting itself. So things don't move, right? And it's also between, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, New York session has just closed. Okay, because now 10 p.m. is 5 p.m. EST. So this New York stock market has just closed. And it's not until 11 p.m. where then the Asian session is going to open, or the Sydney session is going to open. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. Somebody tell me. Who is a leader in here who's been trading for a while? Somebody tell me. But I'm pretty sure that's correct. So this kind of hour, the market is just, it's frozen. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Okay. So yeah, Sarah, hopefully that answered your question. So you also wouldn't be able to set up any pending orders during this 1 hour. You wouldn't be able to close out any profits. So if you're in a trade and you want to close it, you got to stay awake until 11. So when the market opens back up, you can close your trade and take your profits. Yes, Temi, go for it. You don't need to put in TP when you're breaking even. Oh, so Kyra, yeah, good question. So that would have, if I had been in that trade, I would have put a TP, but because I was just taking that as an example, I didn't have a TP put in. But yeah, you would definitely have your take profit in there as well. So Temi, why is it showing -29 and -16? Well, I can see -16 now. That's because I think 29 because of the pending order. I don't see where you see the minus. Oh, at the top. Oh, I see. Okay. No, so that is basically the broker takes fees as well. Usually it's not this big. This is just because it's a demo account. So when you close trades, it's something called swap fees. So when you close trades, depending how long you've been in the trade, the swap fee can increase. But it's usually not something you notice, right? It might be like the difference of like, a couple cents if you have a small account. If you have a bigger account, it might be a couple dollars. This one, it's not usually that big. I think this is just because it's a demo. So hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, so to answer your question, Temi, if I were to close this trade right now, it would actually be -29. That's what would show up over here. Okay. Right, guys, I think we're going to end there, right? We've gone through a lot of information, but I really, really hope everyone has a very firm grasp, okay, on how to use MetaTrader 4, okay, how to take a signal. Again, it's just copy and pasting from the educator, okay? Now, let me see if I can actually quickly find an example of a market execution. That was a sell limit as well, Euro CAD, GBP CAD. Okay, so here was one. This GBP CAD one, so see how it says sell now? That's where we'd want to do a market execution as close to that price as possible, 1.71031. So if you've seen it's moved a whole bunch in the wrong direction, then just don't take that trade, okay? So Tanya, assuming you have $400 and want to take a trade 4 times, will your lot size be 0. So if you have $400 for a 1 to 2% risk, you would use 0.04. Now, if you want to then take 4 trades, really what you should do is use 0.01, because then that equals 0.04, which is your kind of 1 to 2% risk. So if you're wanting to open up 4 different trades, you should then reduce your risk. Tanya, let me know if that makes sense. Emmanuel, can you tell us something about RFX? Well, this isn't an RFX call. So I'm not going to go into RFX now because that's a completely different style of trading. That's binary options. But also in the UK and Europe, we can't get access to RFX. So you're not going to really find any UK or European leaders talking about RFX. I assume you're in Nigeria because you're trading RFX. So definitely speak to one of your Nigerian leaders. I know as a Timoshe, he is an absolute beast at RFX. So if you know who he is or Obi, get in contact with them and they can help you out with RFX. Right, guys? So I am going to end there for this evening. I hope you guys have an incredible evening. If you make some money from Eminus, then definitely, I don't know, tag me on Instagram. Oh, my Instagram's not there. I'm going to drop my Instagram in the chat because if you guys make money from this, I want to know about it. I want to know about it. Let me just put my Instagram in the chat box. Definitely follow me. Right, guys, have an amazing evening and I will see you all hopefully very, very soon. Oh, recorded session. Yes, I will put this in our leadership chat. So if you are not in the same chat as me, the leaders will then distribute it to your chats. Okay. Dorcas, I do this call every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Okay. So if you want to come back and see me every Tuesday at 9 p.m., I do this call. Right. So let me stop the